Welcome to the Daily Business and Finance Show. Streaming showdown, Paramount and Warner Bros. Fate, Tesla's blame game over faulty parts, and U.S. tariff tensions with China and Russia. Oil prices slip as Angola exits OPEC, Wall Street bounces back after major sell-off, and trouble in Norway for Tesla. The billionaire space race heats up as Blue Origin eyes SpaceX rival acquisition, Commerce Department probes chip supply chain security, and Heisei's big shift to C Corporation. Stay tuned after the short ad break to delve deeper into these headlines. Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount Global have initiated preliminary discussions regarding a possible agreement. This has elicited a variety of responses from Wall Street. Some analysts are skeptical about its regulatory viability, while others perceive it as a strategic maneuver against Netflix and Disney. The proposed deal might be subject to antitrust examination, but it could also establish a substantial counterbalance in the streaming industry. In related news, Paramount is contemplating the sale of assets to Skydance and Black Entertainment Television.
Reports suggest that Tesla has been aware of persistent vehicle defects for a considerable period, frequently attributing the faults to customers and imposing charges for repairs, as per an investigation by Reuters. Despite experiencing high failure rates globally and facing regulatory scrutiny resulting in recalls in China, Tesla has yet to recall the defective components in both the United States and Europe.
The United States persists in its defensive trade strategies, now under fresh labels such as de-risking and diversifying. These strategies encompass billions in subsidies for local production, import tariffs, and economic penalties. Recent initiatives include the Inflation Reduction Act that backs domestic energy production, along with the CHIPS and Science Act that strengthens the semiconductor industry. The current Biden administration is contemplating increased tariffs on Chinese commodities like electric vehicles and solar products to lessen dependence on Beijing's clean energy supply chain.
The cost of crude oil has taken a dip following Angola's decision to leave the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, also known as OPEC, due to a conflict regarding production quotas. This move resulted in a 1.7% reduction in the value of West Texas Intermediate crude futures and a 1.9% drop in Brent futures. Notable oil corporations with operations in Angola encompass TotalEnergies, Chevron, and ExxonMobil.
United States stocks experienced a rebound on Thursday following a substantial sell-off. The Nasdaq Composite was at the forefront, registering a gain of 1.26%. The economic data revealed a slowdown in growth and a decrease in inflation. Despite the downward adjustment of third-quarter GDP growth and an uptick in jobless claims, all sectors concluded on a positive note. However, it's worth noting that the Conference Board's leading economic index has seen declines for 20 consecutive months, suggesting potential risk of recession.
The Norwegian Public Roads Administration is wrapping up a probe into Tesla regarding suspension failures in its electric vehicles. A verdict on a possible recall of Model S and X vehicles, due to problems with rear control arms, is anticipated within the next 7 days. Even though there are claims that Tesla had knowledge of these flaws, the company's shares increased by 1.32% in pre-market trading.
Blue Origin, a company under the ownership of Amazon's Jeff Bezos, along with the private equity firm Cerberus, are said to have placed bids for the acquisition of United Launch Alliance or ULA. This is a collaborative venture between Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Textron has also expressed interest in ULA. Prior to the establishment of SpaceX, ULA was at the helm of rocket launches for the U.S. Department of Defense.
The United States Department of Commerce has plans to conduct a comprehensive study on the domestic semiconductor supply chain and the National Defense Industrial Base. This is primarily due to rising security concerns, especially those related to China. The objective of this survey is to gain insights into how American companies procure legacy chips. The results from this study are anticipated to influence policymaking and help mitigate national security risks. Concurrently, there's an ongoing disbursement of grants from a $52 billion fund known as Creating Helpful Incentives for Producing Semiconductors or CHIPS Act. This act was signed into law by President Biden in August 2022.
Hannon Armstrong Sustainable Infrastructure Capital has declared its plan to shift from a real estate investment trust to a taxable C corporation, starting January 1, 2024. This action has ignited debates on the topic of whether shareholders should stay with the company during this transformation. And that's a wrap on the Daily Business and Finance Show. Keep striving, keep thriving, and remember the best investment is in yourself. Until next time, I'm Montgomery Jones.
And I'm Amalia Dupre. Until tomorrow, stay safe and farewell for now.
This content is sourced from the Seeking Alpha website, so support our podcast by becoming a Seeking Alpha Premium subscriber. See the show notes page for links to sign up. This episode is produced by Classic Studios. This podcast provides information only and should not be construed as financial or business advice. Check out our other podcasts in our network at classicstudios.com.